In a faraway land located between Africa and Asia lies a village that is being haunted by a tomb. The tomb, called the Tomb of Otash, have existed in the village for 2 long years. At night, the spirit of Otash rises and abducts people from the village. It kills some and drops them under the huge tree that overshadows the tomb, while some it takes into the tomb. The village has been plagued for years. People trying to escape from the village have been the major victims, as there was no village so near to escape to before dusk, except for one, Dagari. Dagari was the closest and only neighboring village to Otagari, which was in a constant conflict with it. The people of Otagari believed that the people of Dagari were the cause of their major plague, which is the Tomb of Otash. Otash was a woman from Otagari who was married to a native doctor in Dagari. Every night, while Otash was pregnant, the native doctor would withdraw Otash blood and feed it to his deity. Otash became dry, frail, and was about to die. She set out with her 7 months pregnancy to her motherland, Otagari. But on reaching the outskirts of Otagari, she bled so much and collapsed on the sand. She said in a frail voice, "I hate my people for watching my parents marry me off to a wicked native doctor because of money." With that, Otash took her last breath. At that moment, the spirit of the deity, which has fed on her blood, took flesh in her body and rained cruelty on the people of Otagari. While this was happening, all supernatural deities ceased helping the people of Dagari, and they suffered famine and natural disasters. During the present day, the spirit of Otash penetrated the king's chamber and abducted the king's pregnant wife and only heir, while it killed every night on the watch. The next day, the king summoned all his special advisors and native doctors for an important meeting on how to destroy Otash's spirits or appease it. They concluded on digging up Otash's body during the day and carrying it back to Dagari because they were the one that killed Otash. They assigned a powerful native doctor to fortify the men that would dig the grave. After the meeting, the villagers slept with one eye open, awaiting the terror of Otash. Otash appeared few hours after sundown and killed the most powerful native doctor who would help fortify the youths that would dig up her grave during the day. But the king has had enough of Otash's plague. He ordered the assistant to the native doctor to do the fortification. After that, the youths set out for the tomb of Otash. The fortified men reached the outskirts of the village, which now looked like a thick forest. No one has been there in years. The huge tree has made the surrounding look like a thick forest, and the sky was blocked out by the leaves. The environment echoed sinister. The fortified men found Otash's tomb and penetrated it. After reciting their incantation, the leader of the group digged in his dagger into the tomb, and immediately lightning zapped down from the sky and struck him to death on the spot. The other men were scared and tried to run out, but there was no visible way out. It looked like a maze. But on the second thought, the fortified men decided to go back and fight for their little village, Otagari. One of the men succeeded in using the dull end of a shovel to open up the tomb. They saw Otash's body lying in the tomb. One of the men went into the tomb to carry Otash's body, but immediately he stepped into the tomb, he disappeared into an invisible tunnel inside the tomb. Terrified, the remaining men secured the body of Otash with a rope and pulled it out of the tomb. They put it into a big sack and set out for Dagari. They still couldn't find their way out of the tomb. They took out their disappearing stone and recited a disappearing spell, which made them appear at the outskirts of the village. They dropped Otash's body in the central market of their neighboring village and ran as fast as they could before dusk came. Otash rained terror on every inhabitant of Dagari. She penetrated the king's chambers and abducted the king's wives and children. The following morning, the king ordered the youths to take back Otash's body to Otagari while he prepared to unleash war on them. The men were intercepted by soldiers on their way. The soldiers didn't let them penetrate Otagari with Otash's body. The king of the two villages came together to have an important meeting, settle their disputes, and put an end to Otash's plague. At the meeting, a strong native doctor made incantations and said, "There is no way to appease Otash's spirits, but there is one way to end her spirits. The way is to kill her with a spiritual bronze dagger, which is located in a spiritual village. The way to the spiritual village is through Otash's tomb, and the village only opens for exactly 3 visitors. Otash must be placed back into her tomb before the tunnel to the spirit world would open." 3 strong men were selected to embark on the journey. Each of them were given a fortification stone to protect them as long as they kept it close to themselves. They were also given 1 disappearing stone. The 3 youths set out with Otash's body. They placed back the body inside the tomb and jumped in while holding their fortification stone close to themselves. They arrived at a mysterious village where everything seemed small and big at the same time. There was no sun nor moon, and everything seemed white and black. They marched forward as their hearts raced. They met an old woman who greeted them with a smile and told them to relax and avoid looking back for whatsoever reason. She directed them towards the bronze knife as if she knew what they came for. They walked towards the knife. One of the youths dropped his fortification stone, and he beckoned on the others to wait for him as he moved towards the stone with his back. While moving towards the stone, he trampled on something that made him fall and look back. He saw that the woman that they met initially has turned into a great demon. With that, the youth turned into a stone and broke apart. The 2 other youths ran as fast as their legs could carry them as they heard the footstep of a gigantic monster running behind them. The demon stretched out one of her hands to grab one of the youths, but they quickly severed the hand with a knife. The youths approached a man who they assumed to be the guardian of the knife and one of the inhabitants of the spiritual village. They approached the man and he stretched out his hand for a gift. The youths decided to give out one of their fortification stones. The guardian opened a door for them and they passed through. They approached the second guardian of the knife, who stretched out his hand in request for a gift. The youths searched themselves and the only thing they had in their bag was 1 fortification stone, 1 disappearing stone spell, and the severed hand of that demon. The youths decided to try give the guardian the severed hand of the demon. The guardian collected it, being unsure, but he opened the door for them to collect the bronze knife. As the youth stepped out with the bronze knife, the guardian attacked them when he realized what they have given him, but they quickly recited their disappearing spell with the stone, and they immediately appeared at the outskirts of the village with the knife. They appeared at dusk and faced Otash face to face. Otash tried to attack them, but they quickly brought out the knife and stabbed Otash in her heart. Immediately, Otash disappeared, and the huge tree that has overshadowed the outskirts of the village also disappeared. The village experienced a new dawn. End of my story. Like and follow my page.